How's it going, Chiptide? It's me, Chips, and today, Pokemon just released a whole bunch of they dropped a new trailer, and we are gonna be, analyzing it. I've always wanted to do things like this, and I figured, you know what? It's now or never. Let's just do it. Probably a whole crap ton of people have been doing this, but, figure why not? So we are here on Pokemon.com. We're just gonna be looking at all the stuff they did. I don't know if I'm allowed to show the trailer, but I'll put the link in the description. But we're gonna be looking at some of the new Pokemon they revealed. So first, we have this Pokemon. Its name is Type Null, I guess. It is a normal type. It is a synthetic Pokemon. 265.7 pounds ability battle armor. That is heavy. And the description: this Pokemon wearing a mask has been dubbed Null, meaning nothing. The shape of its front and hind legs are clearly different. The reason that Type Null was constructed to synthesize the strengths of various Pokemon, enabling it to adapt to any situation. The mask fitted to Type Null's head is a piece of equipment designed to control the latent powers. It is extremely heavy, so it is also severe as to hinder Type Null's agility. To complete a certain mission, there was need of a Pokemon powerful enough to rival those Pokemon spoken of in mythology. So, this Pokemon, my theory is it was created by Team Skull. They're the bad guys. They're probably doing all this bad guy stuff. I think it makes sense. Created by Team Skull is kind of like, a super weapon, or like the Winter Soldier of the Pokemon world. So this guy, not a natural Pokemon, but I think it was made by Team Skull to try to, subdue the legendary Pokemon. Let's go back to the Pokemon page, and let's, this guy, Jangmo-o? I don't know, but it's the scaly Pokemon. It is a dragon type, 2 feet tall, 65 pounds, with bulletproof and soundproof. This guy, 95% sure he's like, the Dratini or the Larvitar of this generation, the pseudo-legendary, but the first one. The pre-evolution, like the Goomy. So let's see. Jangmo-o, it's like Jangmo-o, has the pride of a warrior, although it remains humble about its capabilities. In its pursuit to become stronger, it never neglects its training. Because Jangmo uses its scales on its head for both offense and defense, it never turns its back on its enemies. Many trainers see these behaviors and take it as proof that Jangmo is a valiant Pokemon. Jangmo-o gathers its harsh locales like canyons where no other people or Pokemon are around to live together as they train. So yeah, this guy, pretty cool. I think he's like the pseudo, but we'll have to see what he turns into. And the last Pokemon they revealed is Alolan Eradicate. So he is a chubby little mouse. He is a dark normal type, just like Rattata, same abilities. Because urban areas are their main habitat, their diet is higher in calories than ordinary Raticate. That's why they're so fat. As a result, they have become hefty. Alolan Eradicate prefer to eat only fresh fruits and high-class ingredients. There are rumors that a certain top-notch restaurant takes advantage of Alolan Eradicate's taste buds by bringing it along when choosing ingredients to buy and having it taste test new dishes. Alolan Eradicate continually stockpiles huge amounts of food for their nest. It mostly prefers to send out Alolan Rattata to gather food while they themselves stay home in their nest and just eat. So that guy, he lives it up. Alolan Eradicate is a totem Pokemon of a trial that takes place in Verdant Cavern on Melee Island in Pokemon Moon. It summons Rattata to help confront those who take on the trial. Gumshoos appears as a totem Pokemon in Verdant Cavern in Pokemon Sun. So, in the trailer, it seemed like it said that Pokemon Sun and Moon were set 12 hours apart. So, either, when you're playing in the day, in Pokemon Moon, it's night, and at night, it's day, or it's just always night in Pokemon Sun and Moon and always day in Pokemon Sun. But I think this has made me, finally make my decision. I was, on the fence. I didn't know which one I want. But I think I'm gonna go with Pokemon Sun now, just because I like being in the day. I don't want to spend the whole time at night. So, I think I'm gonna go with Pokemon Sun now. But, we'll see. So, let's see, what else they got here? There was some other stuff. Alright, here are... Oh, I forgot about... Okay, we'll go these one by one. A mysterious presence threatens the Alola region. Ultra Beasts! In the Alola region, rumors are flying around about the mysterious creatures known as Ultra Beasts. Ultra Beasts possess mighty powers and can pose a threat to humans and Pokemon, so they are feared. It appears that the Ether Foundation is also conducting research on the Ultra Beasts. According to rumor, multiple Ultra Beasts exist, each one of them called by a code name. So I haven't gone through the Ether Nation yet, or Ether Foundation yet, but, we will get to that. But the one they showed in the trailer is this jellyfish-looking thing, UB for Ultra Beast 01. UB01's body is composed of a glass-like substance. However, it constantly changes shapes, never settling on one. While evidence of something like a survival instinct can be observed in UB01, no one knows whether it has its own will or its own or any emotions. It's said for some reason that its moods resemble those of a young girl. So, no idea what these things are, not gonna lie. Have no idea. None at all. But, pretty cool nonetheless. So let's go back to here. And here we have the Ether Foundation. So, I'll read all these things and I'll tell you what I think the Ether Foundation is. So, the Ether Foundation works in the Alola region. The Foundation's goal is to care for Pokemon that have been hurt. The Ether Foundation has constructed an artificial island called Ether Paradise. Oh, so that's that artificial island in the middle of the whole thing. There was like that fake island. Everyone thought it was the League, but I guess it is the Ether Maybe they will end up being the League. I don't know, but I don't think so. There, they will not only provide shelter for Pokemon, but also conduct various research projects. It seems that the main character will also be able to visit Ether Paradise during the adventure. So we got Lucamine here. Lucamine, the lovely Lucamine, functions as the Ether Foundation's president. We got Baba, the Ether Foundation's branch chief, sports green sunglasses. They're his signature accessory. He seems to be very proud of his position as branch chief. We got Wiki, the assistant branch chief of Ether Paradise. Ether Paradise has a caring personality, so she's loved by all the Ether Foundation employees. And finally, we have employees of the Ether Foundation. So, employees of the Ether Foundation shelter and care for Pokemon. Their uniforms appear to depend on which division they belong to. So, some people were saying they thought these were going to be like a second evil team, like, Team Magma and Team Aqua and all that. But I think these guys are going to be like, instead of an evil team, a good team. So they're like, the same structure as an evil team. There's like a leader, the leader, different like admins, and then grunts. Except in this case it's the president, branch chief, and assistant branch chief, and employees. So I think these guys are going to be like, the counterpart to the evil team. They're going to help you fight the evil team. So for once, it's not just some little kid fighting a criminal organization all by itself. He has some help from professionals. So that's what I think the Ether Foundation is all about. But, if you have a different theory, put it in the description below. And finally, a pair of trainers are investigating Zygarde. Dexio and... Oh! Are these the people from Sun and Moon? Or not, X and Y? The, Ace Trainer people? I think they are. Dexio and Cena will show up as you progress through your adventure. These two, they appeared in Pokemon X and Y as the professor's assistants. That is awesome. They'll give you an item called a Zygarde Cube and allows you to collect Zygarde cores and Zygarde cells during your adventure in the Alola region. Cores and cells can be found all over Alola. Collecting Zygarde cores and Zygarde cells. Objects giving off light can be found in various locations around the Alola region. These are Zygarde cores and Zygarde cells. You can also collect the You can collect them using the Zygarde Cube you received from Dexio and Cena. If you are collecting lots of cores and cells, the path to finding Zygarde in Pokemon Sun and Moon may become clear. So, this is awesome. I heard a bunch of people talking about maybe this is what was going to happen in Pokemon Z, but seeing as there is not going to be a Pokemon Z, this is probably what's going to be said. Oh, in the background right there in this picture, I don't think you can see my mouse, but in both pictures actually, it's that, the hotel that they showed in, like, the concept art in the beginning. Oh, that's cool. So I think that's it. Oh yeah, okay, so we have this, well, let's see if they have any details. I have not read it. A thorough analysis of the secrets of the two different worlds in Pokemon Sun and Moon. Some of the Pokemon that appear in Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon are different. What's more, there is difference in the way time is set in the two games. Except for a few scenes, time in Pokemon Sun and Moon is tied to the actual time, like always. Pokemon Sun operates on the same time as your Nintendo 3DS, but time in the world of Pokemon Moon is shifted by 12 hours. Alright, so maybe, if you want Pokemon Moon while still playing the day, you can just change your 3DS clock 24 hours, or 12 hours ahead. So maybe I'll still get Moon, I still don't know. Some of the Pokemon that appear in Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon are different, including Solgaleo and Lunala, no secret there, which hold the key to the story. It seems that some of the Pokemon that appear as totem Pokemon in the trials are also different. So that is cool. There's actually, a lot of differences in between the two games. And, oh, there's a ton of stuff I forgot. Alright, I don't know what this is. Alright, I guess we'll just go through this. My wishes for Pokemon Sun and Moon. The comment below come from Game Freak Shigeru Omori? I'm terrible at pronouncing names. I think it's Omori. The director of these games, to express the wishes and the wishes that poured into the creation of Pokemon Sun and Moon. Okay, this is kind of long, but you know what? I'm gonna read it. Why not? We live on a planet overflowing with life. This Earth of ours revolves around the Sun, and in turn, the Moon revolves around the Earth. When you look at the Sun and the Moon from Earth, they appear to be traveling through the sky in similar orbits. But when you change your perspective, you come to realize that their orbits are completely different. That's deep right there. Yet, the Earth and the Sun and the Moon are all tied to one another, and life grows and flourishes as they work their influence upon one another. Okay, so right there, a lot of people were saying Pokemon, they thought like if there was a third game in this thing, even though they haven't done that for a while, but if there was, a lot of people were saying Pokemon Eclipse. This is what you get when you combine the Sun and the Moon. I always thought that's kind of stupid, The third games have never been combining the other two games, Yellow isn't combining red and blue, Crystal's not combining gold and silver. The first thing that popped into my head was stars, Sun, Moon, Star. But maybe from this wording, if there is a third game, maybe it's Pokemon Earth. And the legend, oh my god, whole theory right here. Maybe the third game, if there is one, or maybe sequels, will be Pokemon Earth. Like the Sun, the Moon, and the Earth. And the legendary of it is Zygarde. So maybe Pokemon Earth is Pokemon Z. Whoa, that's crazy. But let's keep going. Humans also interact with humans also interact with people of all different kinds. They influence one another and in turn are influenced by others. It is only through this miraculous balance that we can live here as we do. In these titles, I want to express the brilliance of life and the relationship between humans and Pokemon as they influence one another. That's why I chose to name them after the Sun and Moon, which have so much influence over our own Earth. Why the two titles take place in different worlds? Between Sun and Moon, there is a time difference of 12 hours. This was our first attempt at making such a great difference between the two versions. In the Alola region, the Pokemon that you might encounter on the same route can vary between day and night. So this time difference allows players to have completely different experience. So maybe there are Pokemon that, like Umbreon and Espeon, which evolve differently depending on what time of day it is. That's cool. And it doesn't stop at Pokemon. Some events are also different from one version or another. So I hope you can all enjoy both worlds to the fullest. Oh man, now I might have to get both versions. Sheesh. Why we're so particular about expressing night and evening? To show the Alola region's rich nature and beautiful towns, we are very particular about the lighting. Thanks to that, the same locations can have a completely different appearance depending on the time. Sometimes wrapped in a gentle glow of moonlight, sometimes illuminated by the crimson of the sun setting over the sea. At times, the same event will feature different natural phenomena in two versions, which can only be seen in either Pokemon Sun or Pokemon Moon. So I hope it will be fun for players to cooperate, to compare the two versions to find these differences. So I think with this, they're trying to go for like the Pokemon, like Red and Blue, the whole thing was like, you know, you had to have friends with the other version, so then it would be like, you know, you could really get the fullest of the thing. But now they've been doing that a lot, and it's kind of lost its thing. So now it's like there's a lot to experience. You like really want to, you know, talk to your friends, because that's what Pokemon was all about, you know, trading with your friends, battling with your friends. So this is like, you know, inspired community. I think we've poured ourselves into our work so that you can feel an atmosphere and sense of closeness that makes you seem as though you're in the Alola region yourself. So from this, I'm getting the sense that Sun and Moon are going to be like the most beautiful Pokemon games we've ever seen, which would be great. Alright, I think there was one more cool feature. Yeah. Probably not as cool as the other thing, but basically, you can take pictures. A feature known as the Poke Finder allows you to take pictures of Pokemon you find. It's loaded onto the Rotom deck. I forgot about the Rotom decks. Oh, yeah, making a comeback. When you use the Poke Finder in certain photo spots scattered through the Alola region, you can take pictures of Pokemon. The pictures you take will be evaluated, and as you take better pictures, more features like the ability to zoom in become available. So this is literally Pokemon Snap inside the game. Like, inside Sun and Moon. From the looks of this, it seems like Pokemon Sun and Moon are gonna have a lot to do, which I love. Like, they had like the Pyukumuku mini little side quests, taking pictures of Pokemon, finding the Zygarde cores. This seems like, oh, just like reading all this has got me so much more pumped for the new games. Alright, so let's have a little recap of everything we've learned. So there's, you know, this is like a TLDR, too long didn't read or watch, I guess. You know, put an annotation skip to this, but, so we got 3 new Pokemon. This guy, which is like an artificial Pokemon that seemed to be created by Team Skull, is my theory. This guy right here, who is probably the pseudo, and then Alolan Raticate, which is one of the totem Pokemon in Pokemon Moon rather than Gumshoes. The Alola region, we got these mysterious Ultra Beast Pokemon, the Ether Foundation, which I think is like the opposite of the evil teams, like a good team that helps you fight the evil team. These 2 trainers are Dexio and Cena from X and Y, and they are going to help you hunt down all the Zygarde cores that are scattered across the region. Pokemon Sun and Moon are set 12 hours apart, so if you're playing like 8 o'clock in the morning in Pokemon Moon, it'll actually be like it's 8 o'clock at night. This thing, I got my whole theory on this. First of all, the time difference is supposed to like rehash that, you know, community and like talking to your friends about the game that Red and Blue had that everyone loved so much, but now there's like a lot different. So, you know, I guess you could just buy both versions, which I might end up doing anyway, but, and also, my theory, the 3rd game in the series, if there is one, is going to be Pokemon Earth, not Pokemon Eclipse, Pokemon Earth, and the legendary is going to be Zygarde. That's my theory. Hope that's cool. That's true, because then I can be like, hey, I called that. And you can Pokemon Snap, that old, I think, N64 game, is literally in this game, but like higher quality. So, ton of stuff to do if you don't want to, you know, spend all your time training and going through the story. There's a ton of other stuff to do. So that's all that we had. That was a lot more information than I thought. I think this part right here was my favorite, because I hadn't even seen of that yet, but I think that was my favorite part. But if you enjoyed this little breakdown, then make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you later. I should do the whole thing I usually do on screen right now, hopefully. Links to both my Let's Play series, both Platinum, which we finished a while ago, and Soul Silver, which we are doing currently right now. Should be a video, probably already went up today, but 2 videos today. How cool is that? But if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. But until then, the tribe has spoken.